For months now, I've flitted back and forth about what to do for the Halloween video. In the end, I decided that I would do a character run on the man himself, Mr. Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Specifically the Tim Burton adaptation, which is based off the 1973 stage play of the same name, which makes sense for New Vegas since the whole point of this version of the character is getting revenge for the disrespect that was done to him and his family. Here are the rules. I can only deal damage using a straight razor, and since old Todd's victims were made into pies and sold to the punters around London, I can only get caps by selling human meat and looting enemies, since Mr. Todd and Mrs. Lovett also robbed their victims before making pastries out of them, which means if I earn any caps from quests, I have to dump them in a container. And since I can only get the Dine and Dash perk by eating 25 corpses, I'm not allowed to use any stim packs, so I can only heal by eating human meat. Since eating the meat won't heal crippled limbs, I am allowed to use doctor's bags and sleep, but only to heal my limb damage. So if I need to sleep, I have to make sure I'm at full health before doing so. Let's get started. After spending a while crafting the Sween Meanie's face, I trot over to the Vigor Tester, and these are the specials I went with in the end. I wanted to focus on being a bit more tanky and trying to get the most out of the razor, since it's the second weakest weapon in the game, and I'm going to need to trade quite a few hits with it. For my tag skills I pick melee weapons, which means Doc Mitchell gives me a straight razor right off the bat, so I don't have to go gallivanting off into the waste looking for one, which makes a nice change. And speech, because I'm going to need a higher speech skill late in the game, and sneak for those juicy ambush criticals. To help my speech out a bit more, I pick skilled, and of course, Wild Wasteland for my tag skills. Then I dump all of my weapons apart from my trusty razor on Doc Mitchell's floor, and head out to bask in the baking sun. My first task is to get as much XP as I can, because I can't get the cannibal perk until I get to level 4. At this early stage in the game, getting XP usually means doing random stuff like hacking any terminals / picking any locks that I come across and killing random enemies like these powder gangers near Gene's skydiving, and disarming mines. I'm going to save some of the early game quests for later when I've bumped my XP up a little. After giving the escaped convicts outside and in the Bison Steve a shave that's too close for comfort, I decided to save Beagle. Because despite the fact that Mr. Todd kills a lot of people, he's not some crazed murder hobo that goes on a mental rampage. He does kill people at random, but I don't think that he would just start slitting the throats of everyone he comes across like Michael Myers would. After this, I make my way through Hidden Valley to get to Novak to grab the note from Manny's room, and so I can help Boone get revenge on the person that sold his wife to the Legion, because Sween Bean would probably sympathise with him. On the way, I kill anything that tries to cut my journey short until I damn near get my head blown off by these filthy degenerate vipers. Which means I now have to limp the rest of the way. And when I get to my destination, I get the rat bag to follow me to the dinosaur, and our favourite sniper turns her head into a confetti cannon. Then I return to Goodsprings and help Ringo with his powdered nose gang problem, which got me enough XP to get to level 4. Now that I have the cannibal perk, I move all the smelly vagabonds into a local trailer, chop them to bits, and chow down on some delicious meat. After my lunch break, I have a nap to heal my limbs, then make a pilgrimage to Vegas. On the way, I come across the lonesome drifter, and decided to take a break to warm myself by his fire and listen to his tale. After this, I make a pit stop at Boulder City to get Benny's lighter from Jessup, who was there when Benny shot me. Therefore, he's also responsible. So I'm not going to even bother talking to him. Unfortunately for me, my razor might as well be a butter knife, because it barely scratched their Great Khan armour. I ended up having to lead them outside and let the NCR deal with them. It's a bit anticlimactic letting Jessup die to the Jarheads, but I would rather that than get turned into Swiss cheese. Once the boys in khaki put them 6 feet under, I drag all their corpses inside this building and give them the same treatment as the powder gangers. After this, I make my way to Freeside, and on the way, I make a stop at Field Shack to grab an extra straight razor. And when I arrive at Freeside, I waltz straight into the King's School and slit Sergio's throat. This may seem a bit murder hobo-y, but I did this for a good reason. To get the Figaro. a unique variant of the straight razor that does more critical damage and has a higher critical chance than the normal variant. Plus, it does more damage in general. It's only 3 more points mind, but it's better than nothing, so I'll take it. After a quick bite to eat, I decided it was time to go to the strip. Now I can't just walk in because I don't have 2,000 caps lying around, and it would take a lot of human meat to get to 2,000 caps. Even when looting the corpses at the same time, it would still take way too long. Plus, I don't even have the dine and dash perk yet. So, I decided to just barge into Camp McCarran and use the monorail. Once I'm on the strip, I realised that despite me grabbing the lighter and the note, I'd forgotten to get the cigarettes from Goodsprings. After taking the time to grab one, I realised at this point I was only 2 corpses off getting the dine and dash perk. So I made a stop at Prim and killed Ruby Nash, then devoured her and Daniel Wyand, who was already lying dead in the streets. And now that I have the perk, I need to start hoarding human remains, because I'm going to need these for the battle at the dam. After heading back to the strip, I pay a visit to Howard Hughes at the request of Victor. House might not have ordered or wanted Benny to pop a cap in my noggin, but I decided that he had to die as well. Because House is smart enough to realise Benny was a piece of human garbage a long time ago, and in an effort to save face with the other tribes, he just let him act like a twonk. Plus, I'm not sure Sweeney Todd would want to work with him, because he might have a partner in crime in Mrs. Lovett, but he doesn't really work well with authority figures. Regardless, I will deal with him after I've dealt with Benny. After convincing Swank that Chandler is a degenerate rat, he sends him up to his room so I can give him a shave. After doing so, I chopped him up, put his limbs on the shelves and his head next to the pistol that he shot me with, then harvested his flesh. After enacting my satisfying revenge, I introduced myself to Yes Man, then I put House's other foot into the grave and weirdly discover that you can't use the dine and dash perk on him, for whatever reason. Then I installed Yes Man onto the Disney Plus server, and now I have to decide what to do with each of the factions. First, I decided to go and visit the Boomers, but they opted for an aggressive introduction right off the bat that almost killed me. As punishment for this, I resorted to killing them all. As far as choices go, this wasn't my smartest, because there are a lot of them, and their main method of attack is ganking, which resulted in me getting my bell rung repeatedly. Eventually, I realised that if you enter and exit a building over and over again, at some point only one of them will follow you through it. And one-on-one, they're pretty easy pickings as long as you block their attacks. Eventually, I managed to drive the Boomers into extinction, and the sheer amount of corpses littered around means I have access to a lot of meat. Meaning I can now heal mid-combat, so future conflicts should hopefully go better if I'm up against more than one opponent. After this, I make my way back to the strip and get set upon by some vagrants, one of which was wielding a straight razor, so I quickly nabbed it for future repairs. When I get to the strip, I investigate the other clans and ultimately decided to leave them be. They haven't tried to mess with me in any way, shape or form, so I have no need to eliminate them. After this, I make tracks to Cottonwood Cove, and on the way, I bump into Veronica at the 118 trading post, who says that she wants to travel with me. So I decided she can be my Mrs. Lovett. Before she can travel with me properly though, she's going to need a razor. So we stop by Wolfhorn Ranch to get one. But unfortunately, she won't equip it. So I took her back to her bunker in the Hidden Valley and left her there. When I eventually arrive at Cottonwood Cove, Mr. Potato Head lets me go into the weather monitoring station, and the fact that the Legion gave me a nicer reception than the Boomers shows just how crazed those dirty vault dwellers are. The robotic rascals inside are quite difficult to destroy with the Figaro, so much so that it only had a sliver of health left after getting just halfway through. Luckily I looted a stealth boy earlier and managed to successfully use it to upgrade my army of Cybermen without any further complications. After this I head over to Red Rock to have a chat with the Great Khans. Originally I was going to slaughter all of them, but after speaking to Papa Khan, he didn't seem to know anything about the attack on me at Goodsprings, so I decided to leave them be. But I did get Papa Khan to kick out Carl under pain of death, so at least I got to have some fun. After telling Jim Carrey what I did with the factions, I head over to the El Dorado substation to activate the power. Then before I head to the dam, I decided to head back to Nellis to see if there was any corpses that I hadn't harvested yet. And it just so happens that I actually missed quite a few. After stocking up on meat, I head to the dam to enlist in the battle to end all battles. Mrs. Lovett apparently also wanted to take part, but I told her to piss off. No razor, no warfare. Them's the rules, woman. With the help of the Securitrons and the NCR, the fight to the dam control room was a breeze. And I managed to get a level up, and chose to take the Super Slam perk. This will come in handy with my fight against Lanius. And I didn't realise at the time when taking it, just how useful it's going to be. After harvesting more succulent chow, I lie to the NCR, install Yes Man, and watch the Securitrons eviscerate some Romans. Then after skinning them, I made my way into the Legate's camp. And the Slam perk already proved to be worth its weight in gold, because the yobs in the camp have extremely strong power fists, and you know what they can't do when you knock them over? Boff you in the chops with them. After taking a disguise, I make my way to the Big Cheese himself. And before I show you this, I want to state I have no idea why this happened, and I have never seen this happen in all my playthroughs of New Vegas. Without doing a single point of damage to him, Lanius decided to turn around and start throwing grenades at his own men, causing all but one of them to die. I obviously made a save after this happened, because I definitely wanted to abuse this. And let me tell you, despite him killing me well over 20 times, eventually I managed to lock him into a knockdown cycle, resulting in death by 1,000 cuts. And because Lanius friendly fired his own men, I was able to talk to the general without having to fight anyone else. Then the Securitrons melt the NCR to ash. And with that, it turns out you can beat Fallout New Vegas as Sweeney Todd. I always love these character runs because they are always a ton of fun. I will say though, the Lanius fight was some god tier RNG that I don't think I will ever be able to replicate. New Vegas always finds new ways to surprise me even after all these years. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe? It helps out the channel massively. Plus, if you turn on the notification bell, you get to watch more juicy content from yours truly when it releases. If you want to support me further, consider joining as a channel member. You get early access to videos and a mention in them for being such a legend. Speaking of legends, I want to give a massive thank you to my member, the Variety White Guy. You are an absolute star, and your continued support means the world to me. I can't thank you enough. If there's a specific video you want to see, or you just want to have a chat, drop a comment down below, have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you next time.